Welcome, everyone. I'm Carol Laurie, host of the Her Health and Spirit podcast and upcoming summit. Today, we're fortunate enough to have with us Robin Nielsen. Robin Nielsen is an integrative certified nutrition consultant, board certified in holistic nutrition. She specializes in helping women find hormone balance from puberty to menopause to live their most fabulous lives. She's currently the CEO and Chief Wellness Officer for Institute Health, PCOS.com, supporting women with PCOS and its devastating symptoms to transform their lives. Robin has interviewed over 100 of the world's leading experts on integrative health and is past president of the National Association of Women Business Owners, Silicon Valley chapter, and past president of the National Association of Nutritional Professionals. Robin has been married over 30 years to her hot, sexy lover, has 2 grown sons, and is passionate about helping women and couples thrive. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you, Carol, so much for having me.
Well, I'm still looking forward to this conversation because one of the areas that I specialize in and see quite a few young girls suffering from is PCOS.
Yes.
So let's talk about how you've gotten into that area of specialty. And we all know that at the core of your work is an honest desire to serve and help others. And what fuels that wish, and where did your personal mission to affect the lives of others first begin, and what keeps it going?
You know, those are such great questions, and I love the phrase, your mess is your message. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, your message is your message.
I love that. Your message is your message, and that's definitely how it is for me. So, you know, I struggled with a lot of symptoms of PCOS when I was a teenager and well into my actually early 40s. I still had adult acne, and I was bound and determined to figure it out, and it wasn't an easy journey.
Right.
And I think, you know, one of the biggest things that I hope that people take away from this talk today is that, you know, a lot of our health problems are that we just don't know it, that we can feel better. You know, we don't know that some of the things that we're suffering from are not okay. Like, they might be normal because so many people in our society suffer from these conditions, but they don't have to be. I mean, it's you know, I've worked with a lot of men and women over the age of 50, and you know, we think that, you know, aches and pains and, you know, high cholesterol and, you know, heart disease and all these things are just part of getting older. And it's really untrue. And that's
Absolutely.
the same, you know, with a lot of the things that I suffered from when I was growing up. And then, you know, oh my gosh, I had, you know, horrible digestive problems. I was just, you know, sort of reminiscing about some of the things that I suffered from as a young person. And, you know, looking back, it's like, yes, I had PCOS, but also it's, you know, PCOS is one of those conditions that stands for polycystic ovary syndrome or ovarian syndrome, and it's super hard to diagnose. It's a condition or a syndrome, and it's really just about hormone imbalances. So, you know, I suffered from all of that for a lot of my life. In fact, today I have to be really, really careful. Like, I'm really diligent about, you know, how I take care of myself because I really want to feel well as much of the time as possible. And, you know, I'm a competitive tennis player and, you know, I like to win. So, you know, whatever it is, I don't want to feel less than my very best at all times, but it took me a really long time to get there.
And I think that's part of what I'm trying to assist people with is that it's a journey. And unfortunately, in our society, the message we're given through advertising on television is it's fine to be obese and eat a hamburger with the juicy French fries and everything jumping all over the plate, and then all you have to do is take an antacid pill. It's a journey to recover from disease and to change your habits, and the rewards of doing that are just magnificent. To really feel well.
Carol, I like to equate it to the concept of, you know, there's a concept of an event versus a process, right? And, you know, when you're trying to be well and trying to get yourself well and then stay well, you know, events are not a great way to do it because events are like, you know, joining a weight loss program or joining the gym or taking a pill. It's a one-time thing, right? And we all know what happens when we join a weight loss program. We really don't have anywhere to go after, and we end up gaining all the way back, sometimes even more. And so what we want to start looking at is how can I sort of immerse myself in a process that is going to actually exchange healthy habits for unhealthy habits over time that I can keep going. So some examples that I can give of that are, a lot of examples in nature. For instance, a seed becoming a flower. It's a process, right? A caterpillar becoming a butterfly. That's a process. So you want to start thinking about, looking at your health in a much different way. You want to look at your health in a way where you can implement something that we discovered called the 5% solution, where you just make these little baby steps over time that turn into these huge leaps in health transformation and life transformation. Because we all know that if you feel better, your life takes on a whole new dimension. You're basically a whole different person, and now what you thought was impossible yesterday is now completely possible, and your dreams can come true.
I think that's a very beautiful perspective and an attitude, and I've seen it work time and time and time again. And part of the process is encouraging the public who's out there and goes, oh, yeah, right, that's not really true, that's not going to happen for me. How can we encourage them to take the steps of faith and start the process?
Wow, that is a great question. Well, I think that, one of the biggest things that we can take a look at is, what we've tried before, right? So if what we've tried before hasn't worked, then we know that we need to keep searching to find that right process that really suits us. And there's so many great resources out there now. There are just thousands of great resources. So you really, whenever I don't know something, I find somebody who does, and I hire them and I learn from them. Whatever we don't know, we can find somebody who does know it, who's walked in our shoes before, who can hold the belief that we need, that we can make the changes that we want to make, and then you hire that person, or you join that group and you see the transformation. What you don't want to do is just, you and I both see, especially women, I learned to starve myself and to over-exercise, and that just made my hormone imbalances so much worse.
Much worse.
Right,
yeah.
Much worse, and we carry that throughout our lives, and, we sort of moved from that paradigm into counting everything, right? Counting calories or counting carbs or counting steps. And so one of the things you want to do is it's so hard to reverse, but you can do it. You want to get out of the counting mentality. You want to get back, to doing simple, basic things that we know that really support a healthy human being. And that's, things like getting back to eating, whole, real foods and moving in a way that hormonally supports your body. Just basic foundational things, right? Getting away from toxins as much as possible because, we know that they're obesogens. They make us fat and sick and tired. And that's what we're finding a lot of in women with hormone imbalance and PCOS is that, their bodies are laden with a lot more toxins than the person who doesn't have symptoms of PCOS. And so there's a concept of toxic overload. Our bodies just can't handle and can't metabolize all those toxins, and they really just mess our metabolism up like crazy. So, it's just finding the foundational things that we know get us healthy and keep us healthy that, that you want to look for. That's what we offer in our, in the program that we do is, just those 5 elements that are really essential to transforming your life.
And you want to tell people very briefly what those 5 elements are? I'm sure the audience would be really interested.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I'll expand it to to 9 because I have more, but the basic foundational 5 are you've got to replace what's missing. So, Carol, and I know that when, a person doesn't feel well, a lot of times they are nutrient deficient. Mm-hmm. So we know in PCOS, we know if you're overweight, we know if you've got heart disease, we know that any, chronic disease or symptom or syndrome of illness is really a very nutrient deficient state. So you've got to replace nutrients. And you've got to work with someone who knows how to support you in that area. What is it you need, and, what form do you need it in, and how much do you need, and all that sort of thing. But replacing nutrients is critical to getting well. Number 2 is using food as medicine. So, using, instead of, taking a prescription drug or an over-the-counter drug, start using food as your drug. Food is your drug to heal your body. That's the only information that we give our bodies to function or not function. And, so we need to start eating to really support our bodies in a powerful way, to build muscle, to build happy brain chemistry, to build our bones, to fuel our beautiful energy, give us that, that jump in our step and that
zing
in our world.
Yeah.
What did you say?
The zing.
Yeah, the zing, the zest, all that good stuff. Food is powerful medicine. And, at the beginning of this year, I actually made some very powerful commitments to myself around that. And, one of them is no alcohol for the entire year. And, believe me, I love my Ron Bauer Zin. I love margaritas. I don't drink very often, but when I do, I just love them. And so no alcohol for the year, no chocolate of any kind, because I can definitely OD on dark chocolate. Yeah. And no sugar. And so I have these things that I know that don't support me that I'm just going to say no to this year. They're just a no choice for me. Now, that's very extreme, right? But I happen to be someone who lives this every day, and, all of you out there help to keep me on track. You help to remind me what's important. So, I try to use food as medicine really as much as possible, and making these commitments to myself really helps me take that one step further this year. So I'll let you know how my experiment goes.
Okay.
And number 3 is using movement as medicine. So everything we do has an impact on our hormones. And I don't know about you, but I learned to exercise in a way that completely stresses my body out. So I had to relearn how to exercise, which was very cool because it turns out that I didn't need to push myself as hard as I thought. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Here, we think that being well and being healthy is really hard, and actually it can be much more peaceful and much more lovely and much more delicious than we ever thought. It's so cool. And number 4 is cravings awareness. So one of the problems with, pretty much every weight loss program out there is that there's no talk about cravings. Like, what do you do around cravings? Well, what we usually do is we just beat ourselves up, right? We say, oh, I have no willpower. I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. I did it again. What was I thinking? All these crazy things, and we beat ourselves up, and then we just get stuck in this, self-loathing pit, that doesn't bring us up. It doesn't help us in any way. It doesn't make life fun. So just having an awareness around cravings. Cravings are not bad, right? But it's understanding where they're coming from and what is it that your body needs. What is it that you need? Maybe you just need to get outside and have some fun, right? So just having that awareness around cravings is huge. And then number 5 is, surrounding yourself with people who support you to be your very, very best. Some of the biggest toxins that we have in our lives are the people we love. Yeah. Right? And so we know that they don't support us, but they keep bringing us down, and we keep going back for more. So the people who live the longest and the healthiest on this planet are people who surround themselves with like-minded people. So it's a journey, right? You have to start figuring that out for yourself. Who is bringing me up? Who's bringing me down? How can I change my relationship with those who don't support me very well? Like, how can I make that better? So support community. So that's my top 5. So,
Robin, tell people how they can find you in the internet world.
Oh, perfect. So let's see. So you can find me a number of places, but you can find me at PCOS.com, and we actually have a really nice giveaway for you, and it's PCOS.com/hormone roadmap.
Great.
That's hormone roadmap, and it's a really beautiful little e-guide, and it just will give you. It's my favorite thing. It's the roadmap that I talked about today. It's those 9 steps, right? And it's really a beautiful, colorful image. If you ever played Candyland when you were a kid, it looks like that. Because it's got to be fun, right? So you can print it out, you can put it on your wall, you can say, okay, these are the things I'm going to start focusing on. And then, of course, it gives you some things to avoid and what might be holding your health back or holding you hostage. It's a really awesome little e-guide, and you'll love it, and then it'll give you next steps. Like, how can you learn more? What can you do next?
That's wonderful. It's a wonderful gift, and we'll have that link on our Summit website, and then it will take the people back to your website also. So it'll be really easy for them to find it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Robin. It went too fast, and I hope the people who are listening got some information that they can take into their days and into their being to up-level their health and move themselves forward. And this is Carol Laurie signing off for now, and there'll be much more later, so stay tuned. Have a great day, everyone.